Hi class, we are going to go through the second part of the exercises, and this is a practice on contrasting type, either in color, size, typeface, which by the way, typeface is really, I think, the correct way to call a font. Call it a typeface. That gives the author respect, and it's really what we do in the workplace. You can use the word font. It just describes the digital font, the digital letter form, rather than calling it the typeface, which is the authored design. Anyway, we are going to work in Illustrator just to work on just one to get you going. And you can either work from the list that was uploaded in content, or you're more than welcome to create your own contrasting words. You could work with 2 words, you might work with 3 words. We're in Illustrator right now, and I'm going to click on the type tool. And along with that, I'm always like using the guides. Guides live in your rulers, and I don't have the rulers out right now. That's right here in the view menu under rulers. Show rulers. That brings up your rulers, and that gives me the ability to click and drag and pull one out, and I just get into the habit of using those because you don't want your type to be too close to the edge. So I've pulled out that guide, and now I can place the type tool right on that. I'm going to actually increase. When you click on your type tool, these are the options that are available. And let's just start with larger type. Just begin with 72. Click. And one of these was think big. Now you can either work with title case, lowercase, uppercase, whatever you think is going to work. And I'm not really sure what I'm going to do yet. I'm just going to type the word think big. And by the way, all of these words from that list were just simply words that I found out in the world. They really were either on a sign or in a magazine. So now we have this, and I'm going to you can either click and drag over this to highlight it, or double click or triple click to get, double click to get one word, triple click to get the whole two words. I'm going to come up here and just enter 150 and press return. That's just going to make the type larger. And this is what we can do with contrast. Remember too that you always, when you're filling, you want this fill box in front. And I'm not really going to play with stroking. So this is where you might change the color of one letter, like think, and your color panel is probably a good way to go with color. Just going to hit the tab key. That'll give you the whole panel if you just double click on these tabs. And this is where you can play with color. This is just one place. So I'm just going to see what this red looks like. That right there is contrast. So that right there would be good to go. You could accept that. Here's what's working here in contrast. The typeface is the same, so that's a good thing. You want to keep it the same. The size is the same, but the color is really contrasted. So that would be one way of looking at contrast. Now let's keep going. So I could also, again, triple click to get this whole these 2 words, and edit, copy, edit, paste, grab the move tool, and I'm going to bring, whoops, how come that didn't work? Hang on. Edit, copy, edit, paste. Oh, you know what I think it was, is I was on my type tool and I copied and pasted, and when you're in your type tool, it's thinking you're wanting to edit your type. So in the future, make sure you're on your move tool before you copy and paste. I'm going to align this one. So now I'm going to work on this one. Click on the type tool, and some other things you can do. And so what I'm going to do is just go back and make this black. Okay, so now we're with the same word, just fine. And this time I might highlight this whole thing, and you can click and drag, and I'll choose a different typeface. These are your fonts. They're also fonts, but here they are. We just talked about the difference between calling this a typeface or a font, and I'm going to go to Helvetica because I love Helvetica, and it's a Swiss typeface that was designed in the 1950s. Another fun way to work with contrast would be, let's contrast the word big, and these are your styles. I also like to call them attributes, but they're the attributes of a typeface, like light, light oblique, regular oblique, and bold, bold oblique. I'll just make this one bold. That's contrast right there. And so that's another way to look at this. Now, the third one might be to contrast the two typefaces. Think about your major type classifications and make sure that each word is in a different major type classification. So I'm just going to get us another one of these to work with just to show you that. So again, copy and paste. Click back on your type tool, and you can see these are two major tools if we're working with type: the selection tool, the direct selection tool, and the type tool. This time, triple click, and I'm going to go back to, let's keep it at Helvetica. And this time I might even take this further, where I make this think light. Now we're getting really extreme in contrast, and that's also a good thing, where your typeface is the same, it's Helvetica, but the attributes are different, and we have ultra thin with bold, and that's exactly what the PPCC website works with, is thick and thin. Thick and thin is really pretty gorgeous, and start looking out there in the world. You'll find that this is done quite a bit. The thick ultra bold with an ultra thin. Okay, so let's keep playing, and I just copied and pasted another word, and this time we'll grab the type tool and take these both back to regular. So I'm going to triple click. Whoops, don't get too excited here. Triple click and come back into Helvetica. And keep them both at regular. So now what we might do is play with one of these words. And of course, obviously you're thinking about how the word looks, visually, aesthetically, and maybe the meaning of the word. So these are things to think about. Right now, don't get too caught up in that. Just play with different concepts. I'm going to try lobster here. Maybe make this all cap, something like that. I don't know if I love that, but that is contrast and type, and this is the kind of thing that I want you to play with, is think about contrast. First one is contrast in color. Second one is contrast in your styles or attributes of regular and ultra bold. This one is even contrasting more with the same typeface, but again, ultra thin and bold. And then we've got this one where we're now playing with the two major typeface classifications. Think is in decorative. It's probably a decorative script. You might call it a script. I'd probably call it a decorative, but whenever you see letters connected, that's really probably a script. I would say I'm not really sure whether this is script or decorative at this very moment, because I'm not sure, but it looks like script, and it could be kind of a combination of the both. And then with big, we've changed this also into all caps. Keep in mind with all caps are used for headers. So other than that, you really don't want to use caps for body text. Okay, well, I think that's probably pretty good, and certainly push yourself beyond this. I just want to help you be able to get started, and do make each one of these phrases different, because that will challenge you in the letter forms. Here I've done the same phrase over and over, and that's okay to do a little bit, but I'd like you to try different phrases. Hey, have fun doing this. I hope this helps your process, and we'll look forward to seeing these next week.